I trailered my boat over to Port Charlotte to meet up with Dave and Matt on the last day of their fishing vacation. Again, the winds were blowing out of the north 10 to 15, a little bit of a windy day. It was chilly. You can see I'm wearing jeans and I've got 3 layers of shirts on just to stay warm. Anyhow, it was a little rough out in the bay. We started looking for some areas we could fish that were in the lee of some islands. But the night before, after I arrived at the motel, they came over, picked me up, and took me back over to where they were staying, casting artificials into the lights at the end of the pier. I caught my first snook ever, and also caught a 9-spot redfish. Very unusual because they usually have only 1 spot. Dave also caught a very nice speckled trout, so between the 2 of us we had a trifecta, the Everglades Slam. We came out of a very shallow cove. We had fished all around. Started heading for deeper water, so I just took a top water that I had been fishing in there and was trolling it, twitching it along the surface, and had a strike. Lo and behold, caught my speckled trout. Within a 24-hour period, I had my slam. Some call it a backcountry slam, others call it an Everglades slam. This is Port Charlotte. It wasn't in the Everglades, but it was my speckled trout to go along with the snook and the redfish, which I had caught the night before. We continued fishing that opposite shoreline and didn't have any success, so we shot across the bay and came up to another shore that was in the lee. The water over there, I love fishing in Port Charlotte. I need to do that more often, although it is a little bit of a drive. The water is, I'm going to call it crystal clear, just like a lot of Biscayne Bay is, although it is tinted brown due to the water that's running in from the Peace River. It wasn't long before Dave had his hookup. It took us a little while to realize that Dave had a fish on, and having missed some of the action over in Biscayne Bay because the cameras weren't running, we were making doubly sure that the cameras were working when we had a fish on over here. When we realized that Dave had a fish, we sprang into action. Matt ran up to the bow of the boat, double checking the camera as I grabbed it. He took a trolling motor, maneuvered the boat out into more open water so that Dave could fight the fish unobstructed. Dave boated himself a very nice redfish. After taking a couple pictures, got the fish measured up, make sure that he was within slot. Very nice 23-inch redfish. We fished that shoreline for another hour and then decided we'd try a flat a little offshore, more towards the center of the harbor. As we were motoring out there, we came across a group of manatees, mothers and their babies. Not realizing what they were at first, we started casting that way. Of course, the manatees can also bring predator fish because of the disturbance that they make on the bottom. In a little bit, you'll actually see some of the calm water that was kicked up by one of the tails of the manatee on the right-hand side of the boat, just barely off the bow. But we didn't have any more luck. We did end up leaving this area and going over to an artificial reef that was constructed after using the side scan and anchoring up. We caught some baby mutton snappers, obviously released. We had schools of spadefish that were swimming all around us. We couldn't get them to bite. So then we pulled up and started heading back to the marina and came across a school of black drum. There was probably 40 or 50 fish in this school. It was a huge school of 20 to 30 pound drum. We circled back around and we found them on side scan. We tried throwing shrimp at them, trying to get them to bite, but we didn't have any luck. Came out of the school twice and found them again. It was impressive the way that school showed up on the side scan. Very impressed with the technology. But that wrapped up the day. 4 days of fishing with the boys, and I'm looking forward to doing it again next year.